a constitutional democracy prim. Then they went to court. The matters have been heard by the courts. And the courts have concluded the matter on the side of government to say redress is the right thing to do. Now there is no one who has a lease agreement of 99 years because it's a problem. Then we introduced 9 years, 11 months leases. And then here, there were people who applied in the new regime. Then we gave them the opportunity. And when we gave both black and white, starting to include people, then they started to have problems. Therefore, the matter of the dam was a main issue. And we said to ourselves, we'll have to continue to open up these dams. Leases around the dams is the right thing to do. We'll open up for all races. And also with the bias of traditional communities, those who are closer to the infrastructure. It's our policy position. That's the matter we discussed. But we could not conclude this matter. We could not conclude the matter. We said we needed to have a working progress and a working group because it's an important matter. We are trying to resolve a problem of a source of dispute and a conflict. Therefore, we say the leases around the dams is an important matter. Therefore, we are shining a light on it. There's going to be a working group dealing with this issue in a transparent, open, and a fair manner. The department gave you a report that they've asked for requests for proposals, more and more people to open it up. We told you that there is a committee now that looks at the matter rather than one person, because there were allegations that even officials in the department, when they handled the matter, there were strong views that it might be handled with a racial lens, Comrade Prim. Then we said, no, let's remove this thing in order to have some checks and balances. We'll have to be able to say, the team working with all of you, how are we opening up that dam for everybody? Not everybody will participate, but in a manner that all of us, we can be happy with it. The other matter we discussed very strongly is that for us to be able to move forward in a new journey, there is this element that we've come to the fore, where people were assaulted, people were traumatized, and certain properties were destroyed. These matters have been brought to the attention of law enforcement agencies. And these matters were referred as matters of criminality. When you actually take the law into your own hand, we are breaking the law. It's a criminal matter. The matters of criminality and the breaches of the law, we agree that we must work with the law enforcement agencies, Comrade Prim, so that these who perpetrated these matters are brought to book and say there is no space, not in our name, where criminality can happen. Irrespective who does it, they must be brought to book. And including the matters of cases, Comrade Premier, that Your Excellency as our Premier, working with the MEC for community safety and liaising in the province with the police, we look at that matter. Because we will never heal with criminals. We can't. We'll have to take one responsibility to the other. The third matter, we agreed. There are matters around how trade here in the local area is being handled. Normally, the issues around the trading laws, around permits, who gets what license for what, in what space. We also had to deal with issues of disturbances, people complaining that, yeah, but the application of the law around trade relations here is inconsistent. Others are allowed to trade until abnormal hours. Others are being told they are making noise and so forth. We thought the issues around issues of trade are an important matter. So that at least there is consistency. What is the policy of this municipality? That is in line to the policy of trade and competition here in the province and in our country. We said let's put a spotlight on it. So that who gets a permit? Allegation that others are operating illegally without permits or authorizations, when there is an enforcement of the law around the bylaws, around these issues, some that strong views that the law has eyes. Then we thought that this will be the third matter that we will focus on so that we create conditions, Comrade Premier, for local economic development to thrive and beyond these issues. The other matter we raised was the state of the dam. That the more we fight over this dam, it's an infrastructure that is more than 100 years. And we're very proud of the engineers of the time. They did a very good engineering work just to build this. We then said that we want to renew the dam so that we can derive the benefits out of the dam. The renewal of the dam, firstly, was to say the quality of water in the dam has deteriorated because of pollution. That one, it can actually become an environmental hazard. You can't actually use that water in the dam without it being properly treated. And if it becomes an environmental hazard, all the beauty around the biosphere, the fauna, the hohakis that are there, will lose it. Will lose it. The environmental consideration. And there's also the consideration of occupational health and safety. There are many foreign objects that are being thrown into the dam. They are being thrown into the dam, and there have been incidents where people who are using the dams, some of them, they've lost their lives. Because whoever is using the dams, at particular points, they've been able to hit some of the debris. And some they've lost lives. But there are also incidents where people drown there. If you drown, and you are drowning at a space where there is an algal bloom of hyacinth, the biomass is too concentrated. Even if there's going to be search and rescue, it will have to be abandoned because of that. But it also has an impact on issues of security, the security of the dam. Many people can do illegal trade and other things there. But it also has an impact on water services. All of us, we live downstream. Comrade Maimane, you know, one day your taps gave us brackish water. It was not safe to drink water under Madibe when it comes to the blue status of water. Something was coming out and citizens were not happy. In other words, the municipality had to improve the capacity of their treatment plants, the input cost around treatment in terms of chemicals, electricity, and others, just to clean the water to be at the right levels. And when the water has to be cleaned at a higher cost, then using technology, in other words, we must raise the price of water, and it will impact on affordability. But we also raise the same issue on the renewal of the dam, that whatever activity we do downstream to remove the hyacinths is a fruitless exercise. It's a fruitless exercise because the source of the problem continues. There is someone who continues to release effluent that is partially treated or not treated into the river. If that problem is not addressed upstream, who pollutes? How much money you put it down there, all our efforts will be in vain. Then we said There has to be the program in the renewal of the dam to stop pollution and be decisive about it. It has to stop. Because we know now, Comrade Premier, that close to 500 million liters of effluent come from upstream. Comrade Kenetso were in trouble because the two of us are always binded together here. We're together today, and we're always in this vein. We once tried to deal with the problem in the past and put a program. There is that part. And we can clean the dam to like other countries. I was in Denmark, in Copenhagen. That lake was so dirty that the Danish were able to clean, stop pollution, clean the floor, clean everything. There is a bird life there. They are even swimming long distances there. And everybody, even those who want to get involved, to be actually in love, they still go there. They see new people there. Those who are having a conflict, they take their loved ones, they go and put their feet in there, they swim. They stop fighting when they see water because water provides peace. But this waste and pollution here, Prof is there at the back. They've been working with Mahalis and others, including the Province. This waste is not waste, it's wealth. It's wealth. In other words, the renewal of the dam, changing waste into wealth, is the biggest task you need to work together as part of your co-creation of a kind of a artist you need. That biomass can be converted into green economy. What is the green economy? It has an impact on agricultural production. We can be able to produce more for farmers, either as feed, depending on the content that is there. We can be able to produce compost or fertilizer and diversity. It can be a big thing because cleaning that dam is going to take us time and with a clear strategy. But that biomass in the built industry, we can use it for housing, for roads, we mix with other things. There are many, many other opportunities. It can become a center for economic development. That waste can also become a center for research and development, R&D, for the province, Comrade Prim. It will also become a center for piloting new innovations, new solutions. It's not limited to what I'm saying because I don't want to claim I have a monopoly of wisdom around these issues, but we can renew it. Renewing this dam, we are going to be renewing not only yourselves as a community. We are going to renew your status, both in the province, in the country, and in the world. We thought is a fourth matter that you must discuss. But these four areas, when they are discussed, Comrade Premier, they must be located properly. What is our Lord Star? You know a Lord Star? You see it from far, it gives you direction. What is our direction? Your co-creation, you must answer the question, what kind of a community you aspire and you wish for? Not for yourselves, but for the next generation. We all yearn for peace. We want to live in an era where we will not be hurt. We want peace. But we also yearn for justice. Justice is not a means of charity. It's a response to say we have an ugly past. For us to be able to heal, justice is an important matter. But justice that creates a win-win. But we also yearn for development. We all want to develop. We want to live a moderate, prosperous life. In our country, we say we want to live a better life for all. In other words, we have to co-create. This source of your conflict must be at the center to say we don't want to leave anybody behind. When you choose to leave other people behind, you don't know that in the long run, you'll never turn many corners. Your own survival will be threatened. When we are so wealthy, we have everything, and next to you there's a sea of poverty, you will be worried to say that these who are poor, they are at your gate. They might even eat your children. And humanity, Bondabezita, has a tendency that we know how to share. And we need to share. I will conclude on my opening and the purpose, Comrade Premier. Nelson Mandela, after he was exposed to the brutality of apartheid, he demonstrated one thing: the ability to conquer, the ability to be humane under adversity. He always says to us, nobody was born to hate. Nobody is born a racist. It depends on our socialization. And here today, working together, I don't think you were all taught how to hate. You were not born, all of you, to hate other people. And no one amongst you was born a racist. But the socialization must change. And then we should start to unlearn. Unlearn bad things. Learn to tolerate. Last time I could see when someone says something you don't like, you want to jump a little bit. When they say something you like, you want to be very, very happy, probably even climb on the chairs, sharing them. Just let's be moderate. And it is our fervent belief as a leadership of this government under President Ramaphosa that it is in your hands, we can be able to pull together. And we are very pleased today that you came here in your numbers, busy schedule. Just your presence is just enough demonstration that there is a will. But our will is about co-creation. Our will is about coexistence. And our being here today is not for yourselves. It's about human existence. In other words, we want to lay a foundation. That foundation we might not be able to enjoy its fruits. You know, humanity, we must plant a tree, not for yourself. One day, you will not be there. You might be an angel somewhere else. If you did the right things, you can become an angel. If you did wrong things, you might become something with horns, I'm told. But you can wash down the fruits of your work. When the climate is too bad, blah, 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 that tree will give a shade to those who need it. That tree will absorb carbon dioxide, and it will release oxygen for people to breathe. That tree will bear fruits. Those fruits will be taken for people to fight poverty so that nobody can go hungry. I thought, let's recap where we come from. Today is not an alpha and omega. It's a beginning of a journey. And we say to you, let's join hands under the leadership of our Premier and the entire leadership of Mokgosi Aruna and the Executive Mayor. Let's foreign to hand. Let's push ahead. Let's allow the people of Artis, Comrade Premier, to proceed. And those who are naughty, who don't want to live with other people, please change your ways. We pray for you. But if lama demon wakangahambi, sizoku-assist, sizoku-enforce. But those of us who sees those who have demons, we must tell them to say, please contain your demons. We must tell them to say, not in our name. not in our name. And it's normal in every society. Racism will be there, tribalism will be there, chauvinism will be there. As I said to you, these are the things you get to be socialized with. And you think these are the right things. With those words, you are all welcome. And thank you very much again. I might have been long, but it was necessary. Especially even those who are joining us for the first time. Manje ke umayitrain ku platform 1 ufuna ukuyigibela yabo. Ungathi le train ayimele. No, it's not going to stop. It proceeds. At this stage, I'm going to allow His Excellency, our Premier, to have remarks and talk to us. And then after that, we'll release the media. We'll have a closed session. Then the meeting will proceed. Let's welcome His Excellency, our Premier, Comrade Lazarus.
No, thank you very much, DM. And let me also greet Mokgosi Agaetso, members of the board who are here under the leadership of the chairperson, DDGs who are here, the executive mayor, the MEC, and all those who are present today. Now, DM, I think it's important for me to start by appreciating your efforts. That when you came here, we could not join you as government because we had government lekgotla. But you felt very strongly that there is a need for you to assist and intervene. We really appreciate for your facilitation on that day because we are able to see the fruits of your engagement. But let me start by saying, you know, South Africa belongs to all of us. And I will do only the remark. I will not be tempted, DM, to go deeper because we need to go to the crux of the matter. You know, South Africa belongs to all those who live in it. That's where we are coming from. South Africa belongs to those who live in it. Now, that belonging means also all of us being able to access, utilize, maximize the resources of government and the state. We don't have anywhere to go. If you are a South African, you will remain a South African. Now, it's not right It can't be right. But there are two things that must happen. The status quo cannot remain. The status quo can't remain. South Africa must change, taking into account the history where we are coming from. But South Africa must also develop. So it's important that whilst we redress, redress is a very fundamental principle. For those who were previously disadvantaged, they must get redress. And if we believe in that principle, not to the disadvantage of others, because all of us, we belong to this country. So it's important that we should emphasize that point, that there's a need to redress and there's a need to develop. You know, we believed and we thought that we have built a rainbow nation. A rainbow nation. A nation that will coexist, a nation that will live together, a nation that will integrate and coexist, side by side. It's important that those 4 principles must be understood as South Africans. And unfortunately, you are the generation today that must be able to build that foundation so that as generations come and we are dead, we should have laid that foundation. It will be sad for generations to come and find this South Africa after 50 years still behaves and still remain what it was before 1994. So there must be change. And you know, at times when you change the status quo, you create uncertainty. So it's important that as we create change, we challenge the status quo. It's important. And the status quo cannot be challenged by those who are not brave. You need bold people to challenge the status quo so that it must address the redress issue. It cannot be that 30 years we still live as if we are here pre-1994. So it's important that all of us as we live in this country, we understand those things. But also it's important that we must condemn violence. Violence, physical attack must be condemned in the strongest term it deserves. Violence has never solved anything. Destruction of property to address a problem will not solve anything. We have proved beyond any reasonable doubt that as a country, as a society, we are able to sit down and talk and discuss. Negotiations is very, very important. Engagement, discussion, agreements. We are taught this by Nelson Mandela and others. So it's important that we must learn from all these things. That when there is a problem, when there is a challenge, we sit down, agree. What is the problem? You know, you don't just behave like headless chicken, run amok, destroy property. It can't be. What is the issue? Who matters? Who must come to the table? Let's discuss and deal with that issue. And I'm happy that you were crystal clear, DM, that you were able succinctly to deal with what are the key critical areas. And they were identified. The issue of the leases, the issues of relating to the manner in which leases are taken out, the manner in which the police are dealing with these issues and so on. Now, if you have identified what is the problem, what is of importance is what are the solutions to the problem as identified. And I believe today we are here, as a matter of fact, to address that part. But, you know, critically, when we speak about local economic development, you know, economic growth, these things must be inclusive. Inclusivity is key. Because you can't have development and growth which is not, because it can be there, this growth. And if it's not properly managed and coordinated, it may not have inclusivity. But you talk that the economy is growing. So we must insist deliberately to ensure that there is inclusivity when you deal with all these things. But lastly, DM, it's not negotiable that there must be what is called peace amongst us. There must be redress. There must be justice. And we must have a prosperous society. I think with those few words, DM, I think I'll rest my case. Thank you very much for the time.
No, Gyalebucha, Comrade Premier, thank you very much. We have an agenda here. I hope the agenda has been circulated. If there are people who don't have an agenda, I'm going to request we do two things. We share, and at the same time, those who are helping us as a secretariat, they do more copies. Someone was not here. I think they've given me too many documents in front of me here. We've invited a number of organizations. We have the leadership of our traditional leaders, Abunda Bezita, they are all here today. The Buchanala House of Traditional Leaders, they are represented by Hoshi Mohale, Hoshima Mohale, and Hoshi Ramokoka. And Hoshi Mutsatsi is here. Now we have 4 traditional leaders. That sector is represented. I'm told by Ndabezita that the matters go beyond artists. We said they will be here. Government nationally is represented by this guy from the office of the minister. He has a team here. Can the team stand up, the TTGs and their teams? Where is the provincial head? They are all here, even those who are from your province. Thank you very much. We also requested the provincial government to be represented. They are led by His Excellency himself, Comrade Premier with the MEC, they are here. The municipality is represented by Comrade Douglas, our mayor. And councillors, can I see how many councillors do you have today? Thank you very much for coming through. Local government is represented. We are also having Mahalis Water. Mahalis, they are your institution, our institution, led by Comrade Chair and the team. We said other stakeholders must be here to represent us. We said, firstly, we will ask the civic organization to be here. I don't know how many civic organizations, but I know Sanco. Is the leadership of Sanco here?
I'm here, Deputy Minister.
Thank you, leadership. Abahlali bakhona. And then we also requested that we have business to be represented. Can those who are from business, there are different business organizations, including the Business Council, they are here, and all those organizations, can they stand up? Okay. And I want the people who are the Secretariat, CE, and the team to take note, because there are a lot of economic opportunities, businesses here. We also requested community-based organizations and NGOs. If they are here, they can stand. NGOs and CPOs. We also agreed that there are those people who are in the knowledge economy. People from academics, institution, prof, and the team, we are all here. No? Then there's also religious leaders. We agreed that they are here. What needs to happen is that one of the decisions the MEC, the Premier and myself have made, going forward, we will not be able to have a big meeting like this. We'll have to have different institutions being represented. And the institutions must agree who then becomes their rep. And because the matter affects many people, we are going to request Premier that in terms of the composition, probably each institution must be represented by 2 people. 2 people, each organization. It might look to be too big, but it will also help us to create confidence when we start, so that we don't have problems around issues of confidence. And the other decision we made is that we'll have to have a technical committee, because the Premier, the ministry will not be running these things ourselves. We need to be able to work from time to time. Certain people, Comrade Mayor, must work on these things of convening of these meetings. In other words, there's going to be technical streams. But at least now, we also have the people that were affected, they are here on different roles. At this stage, I'm going to request only government internal media to remain, and then the others will release them. And then the communications team of your office, Premier, and the mayor, they will tell us when do we interact with them. The first discussion that I want us to have, not everybody, is to confirm those who were here that the 4 areas, indeed, these are the 4 areas that are bringing us together. There are actually 5. Because if we agree what are the areas of focus, we then confirm them. If there are people who feel that there is another area